Good to see you.
Yeah, we've got a fun show today.
Poking all at each other all day. Maggie Grace from Taken 2 is going to be here live.
Very exciting.
We're going to take a look at a guy named Darren Pearson. He is a light artist. I don't know what that means, but I assume we're going to find out later in the show.
I think you're right.
Yep.
How have you been? I heard
Been
you did some juice cleanse.
I did. I'm one of these guys now. I know it's weird.
I
Look
don't
at me.
get it.
I did a 3-day juice fast. Yeah, because I decided to take over for my kidneys. I decided I can be a better kidney than my kidneys can be a kidney. So I decided to clean out my body with a juice cleanse.
And that just means like all healthy juices
like
and
kale.
you can't eat.
Yeah, you can't eat for 3 days.
Yeah, I don't understand this concept of not. Right, boo.
Yeah, well,
I don't understand this concept. 3 days, I would be the biggest bitch on the planet. I would. Nobody would want to come within like 100 miles of me.
Yeah, it was rough. Yeah, day one, my boyfriend and I decided to do it together, and we were stuck at home the first day because we both mostly work out of the home. And
Did you sleep all day?
We were nappy and sniffing at each other all day, and then at night we were just too tired to do anything but watch TV, and so we turned it on, and it was like there was a mini series that was just Papa John's commercials. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, it was like just hours and hours of just like cheese doing the thing where it gets real skinny. And so that was terrible. Day 2, much better, because it could not have gotten any worse. And then I have to say, day 3, light as air. Like we felt really good. We had energy. It was a really nice feeling. And then you're supposed to breakfast the next day is supposed to be your first meal. By dinner time on Thursday, which was the last day, we were like, we proved our point.
We did it.
Yeah, lasagna cupcakes from the heirloom food truck. Oh yeah.
I think that must have hurt your stomach after 3 days.
No, it didn't. It didn't. It was. I tasted every spice. I tasted just like every bit of love that was put into it.
Then it's worth it.
Oh, it was absolutely worth it. And I think we can all agree, I look terrific.
You look
My
amazing.
skin is glowing.
Well done, juice cleanse.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get lost in the dark corners of YouTube, shall we?
We're going around the net. First today, Candace.
Well, let me tell you, Dave.
Okay.
The thrill of victory. Some people say hockey is a violent sport, but I didn't know that extended to the celebration.
Ooh. There it is. That's how you break the NHL lockout. You just jump right through it. Guys?
That's what they do instead of spiking the ball. They just, like, jump up and go through the glass instead.
There you go. There you go.
What I love is that his friends didn't even look shocked.
No.
In the longer version, they're just like, yeah! Jump through glass.
There goes Tucker again. His name's Tucker. Can we agree?
His name's Tucker. I like it. I like his name, Tucker.
Yeah.
Now, up next, a Star Trek-themed band where all the musicians are dressed like Klingons.
Oh, brother.
And guess who their featured dancer is?
Oh, God. Mr. Spock or something.
No.
I didn't think it was possible, but that is less dignified than the Star Wars Holiday Special. Right?
Okay. I just found out about this Star Wars Holiday Special today. I know. Who am I? I'm crazy. But I never knew about this.
Oh, Candace.
And I still haven't seen it. I've only heard about it.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Tell me a little more.
Like those who've seen it, right? It's incredible.
And this is George Lucas's masterpiece, right?
No, this is George Lucas's. This is the thing that haunts his dreams. Like this is why George Lucas can't get a good night's sleep. It begins with 9 solid minutes of Wookiee grunting. not broken up by one single word of English.
Grunting the whole time?
Just grunting. It's like, it is essentially Wookiee mime. And then there's broad comedy from Harvey Korman, Art Carney. B. Arthur sings a song. Diane Carroll sings a song. It will blow your mind. It's truly.
And you have footage of this?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'm coming over after work, and I'm going to watch
You better hurry, because so is George Lucas. He is on his way. All right.
Okay, and finally, I don't know if you guys heard, but Justin Bieber finally had his first rock and roll moment.
Stop it. Did he have sex with Gene Simmons?
No, but close. He barfed on stage. But if you missed it, don't worry. Our friends at Next Media Animation recaptured the moment for posterity.
小贾斯汀当时觉得不舒服，后来在演唱会表演时，他竟然吐了。当小贾斯汀回到舞台，即便我在舞台上吐了，你们还是会爱我吗？即便偶味四溢，而他的疯狂粉丝们这也不大介意。
That looks like my smoothie from today.
It does.
Ew.
So, as I revealed, I'm the gayest man alive. Those girls are pregnant now, right?
Oh.
That's how that works? That's how?
Absolutely.
That's how heterosexual reproduction works?
Yes.
Interesting.
You know.
Have you ever done that?
Yes,
in
actually.
Public?
Yes. Once I was hosting a show years ago on Nickelodeon called Ubik Live, and the kids would go online and vote for one of three things that they wanted us to do. That day, it was Candace drinking a smoothie. And so they voted for me to drink a tuna and sauerkraut smoothie.
Oh!
And I was like, y'all, I drink this and I will throw up. And they're like, oh, you'll be fine. We'll have a little trash can off to the side. I had like 3 sips and I started throwing up. And the show was much different from this show because this show would be like zooming in on it, zooming in on me.
Yeah,
and
hit it in reverse so you're eating it.
Everything.
Yeah.
For me, like they just had to like slowly pan away. Like don't look over there, look over here, kids.
Oh.
Yeah, that was bad.
Terrible.
Throwing up on live TV, not a fun thing.
Not good. Even hearing about that makes it just, it's rising up. It's rising up.
Juice.
Oh, well, that was fun.
Yay! That wraps up today's video.
Still ahead, is your smartphone spying on you using its camera?
Plus, satirical newspaper The Onion is a credible news source in Iran. We'll explain after the break.
Stuff going on this week. Let's get into it. Yesterday on the feed, we told you about a creepy new test app developed by the U.S. Navy that can spy on you using your smartphone's camera. That's right. The good news is, so far, the app only targets Android users, which means most of the population is safe. Android burn. Seriously, though, this visual malware is just plain disturbing. The app even shuts off your phone's speaker so you can't hear when the person spying on you is taking a picture. I hope hackers like looking at the inside of my pants pocket because that is basically where my phone is all the time, and I do a lot of those. I know the cyber terrorists have been dying to get a snapshot of my car keys and an old chapstick, some business cards. The app even uses 3D mapping to painstakingly create a visual replica of your room. Yeah, which leads me to believe that the best way to defeat it is just to be one of those hoarders type of people. I'm pretty sure mapping 600 pounds of old magazines and feral cats will kill off any malware. Still, nobody likes the idea of your smartphone using new malware to track your every move and steal your image, your location, your privacy, because we already have an app that does that, and it's called Facebook. Ooh, stealing. Okay, here's a fun fact. Thanks to streaming services like Netflix, we are not buying as many DVD or Blu-ray box sets as we used to. But that might not be Netflix's fault. It might be the box sets themselves. For example, the home video release of The Dark Knight Rises will not feature a director's cut or any deleted scenes, including a rumored sequence that would have explained the origins of Bane, which is kind of important to the story. Am I right? And The Avengers isn't perfect either. If you buy Joss Whedon's Superhero Explosion Fest on Blu-ray or DVD, you can download a digital copy of the movie for all your other devices, which is great. Except the only way to download that copy is to put a disc inside your computer using the disk drive. Remember the disk drive, that thing that your computer might not even have anymore? Because in less than 5 years, the CD-ROM is going to be as relevant as the floppy disk, right? Floppy disks? Does anyone? You know the things that games used to come on, like these kind of things? Remember these? Carmen Sandiego? Oregon Trail? King's Quest? Remember these? Do you remember these? Whatever. Get them out of here. Get them out of my sight. The worst offender, though, is the movie Prometheus, which is advertising the release of a super special Blu-ray edition like so.
How far would you go to get what you came all this way for?
Anything and everything.
Questions will be answered.
Where did he come from?
With an alternate beginning.
Paradise.
And ending. Prometheus. Pre-order your exclusive packaging at JB Hi-Fi.
An alternate beginning, an alternate ending, so an alternate movie, right? let me translate the ad speak there for you. Buy the special edition of Prometheus. Unlike the movie you already paid to watch in theaters, this version might actually make sense. Here's a pro tip for the guys making DVDs and Blu-rays. If you want to convince people to keep buying physical media, then sell them stuff they actually want. Like, I looked at the list of Prometheus's deleted scenes, did not see one thing that said Idris Elba and Charlize Theron naked and doing it. So, I mean, because you buy that, right? You would buy that. That'd be worth our money in shelf space. Moving on. Either people are getting dumber, or the world is getting crazier, or I vote both. Because there has been an uptick in not recognizing satire when we see it. The most blatant case of this comes to us from Iran, where the official state news agency picked up the recent Onion story about Iranian President Ahmadinejad being more popular than Obama with rural Caucasian voters. It included the fake quote, "He takes national defense seriously, and he'd never let some gay protesters tell him how to run his country like Obama does." Ahmadinejad was also given credit for not trying to hide the fact that he's Muslim. So, if you're keeping score at home, Iran has now apologized for running an Onion story. Iran has not apologized for threatening to nuke the Jews. And if you think, yeah, that's a downer. And if you think that it's just foreigners that will believe anything that is written about Obama, think again. Sunshine State, we're looking at you, and we're making some insulting fake signs with your name on it. It turns out so many Floridians believed an Onion piece about Obama's bastard son appearing at the Democratic National Convention that the Florida Times Union actually had to run a fact check. Which, yes, miraculously, they actually got right. Good for them. For more people thinking the Onion is real, check out one of my favorite websites in the world, literallyunbelievable.org. And we're going to talk about the phenomenon of people taking the Onion seriously after the break. I'm going to be joined here by Seth Reese and Will Tracy from the Onion. Cannot wait to talk to them. Stick around. Attack of the show. Before the break, we were laughing at the ding-dongs who believe that fake news is real, and right now we are laughing with the people who make the fake news. Joining me now, two writers for The Onion, whose new book, The Onion Book of Knowledge, hits stores October 23rd. Please welcome Seth Reese and Will Tracy.
Hello, Attack of the Show. Hello.
Hello, and welcome. Now, we were just talking about people in Iran and Florida confusing your satirical pieces for real news. What's it like around the offices when that happens? Is it just high fives all around?
Well, it's happened enough at this point that we're not really surprised anymore.
Right.
Although it is surprising that in a sense, it's surprising that it keeps happening, because you think that, like, by this point, people are aware of what the Onion is.
Right.
And also, typically, you would think that before they print something in a newspaper or a website, they might Google the Onion, maybe learn something about the source that they're quoting.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, it's surprising.
Right.
Also, we will say we do love the Iranian media.
Sure.
The FARS media agency is our colleague. We appreciate everything they do. We love censorship, and we're happy with the work they do.
We support them ideologically and politically.
Yeah.
And religiously.
Oh, certainly. Well, it seems more like now, in the early days of The Onion, people who tended to get things like The Onion would read it and then forward it to other people who they trusted to get The Onion. Now things get uploaded to Facebook and stuff, and so your Aunt Joyce sees it and thinks it's real. So, I mean, have you... Go ahead.
My Aunt Joyce is very perceptive, Dave.
Well.
She's a very smart woman.
My Aunt Joyce is severely mentally ill.
Okay.
So
right.
our Aunt Joyces are very different.
But you're correct. There's certainly a wider net out there. So there's a lot more. The Onion's motto is "Tu stultus," which means you are dumb. So there are a lot of dummies out there reading us again.
Well,
but hey, enjoy it. I hope they love it.
A lot of dummies who are not conversant in Latin, who might not get the motto.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
What's the process?
We are both fully fluent in Latin.
Of course, of course. It's a great language to know. What's the process of coming up with a good headline? Do you do it together? Do you take time on your own? What do you do?
Well, we go to this website, funnyonionjokes.com. It's like a subscription service.
Great.
You pay like $20 a month, and they have really good onion headlines there.
Or for the writers at the office, who can't afford that, and there are many, we're constantly in headline mode, thinking of headlines, walking down the street thinking of headlines, and we pitch them in our big staff meetings, and the good ones, hopefully the good ones get in.
Do you have any favorites?
Yes, mine is, you can tell. Oh, what is it? Oh man, you can tell Old Bank used to be
a Taco Bell.
Area Bank.
You can tell Area Bank used to be Pizza Hut. That's it.
That's right. Oh, I remember that. That's a good pull. That's a vintage one. I remember that.
That was certainly well before my time, but that does something that the Onion does so well, and I just love it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Will, you got one?
My one that I love is Middle East conflict intensifies as blah blah blah, etc., etc.
Also perfect. Also perfect. Mine is nation's dog owners demand to know who's a good boy.
That's a great one. I agree.
Perfection.
It's a personal favorite as well.
Perfection. So it seems like now also you have a lot more competition. You got Twitter. You got people kind of generating their own very quick little jokes.
Dave, I just want to stop you right there. There is no
do.
competition for the Onion.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
We are in a class of our own. Mm-hmm. It's lonely. It's very lonely because we're at the top and it's lonely at the top.
My hope is that at some point in our history that there will be competition.
Well, that's not going to happen.
I mean, it won't happen, but in order to raise our game.
Well, you're making a fool of yourself.
I'm sure
we have no competition, so end of story.
Making a fool of myself on live television with Dave Holmes.
Listen, I've done it. It's okay. Now, how would somebody go about getting a job at the Onion?
They wouldn't.
If, for example, they wouldn't? You have to find them, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. I think actually people who love the Onion tend to find the Onion on their own. I mean, to be honest with you, a guy sent me an email out of the blue with headlines, and if somebody sends me a list of headlines, I'll always be tempted to read them.
It was Woody Allen, though. You should know. So we make exceptions, obviously.
Well,
so,
certainly.
Usually we pull from comedy legends: Woody Allen, David Letterman,
Woody Guthrie,
Moliere. The best.
Now, before we go, the election, we're in full swing with the election season. Is that a good time to be around the Onion offices, or are you just living there 24 hours a day, drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes?
I mean, it's certainly busier.
Yeah.
It's good in terms of comedy. I think it's boom times for comedy, but it's a little bit more work.
Yeah, I think the key, and not to get too serious, but the key is to just do jokes that are original and not that every comedian will be doing. We sort through. I mean, we're going to do some debate stuff tomorrow night, and we'll probably sort through about 70 to 80 headlines before we pick the 3 that we like. So the key is just, I don't know. Pick the best ones,
Okay, good. Please be on this show all the time. You are delightful.
Please.
I have to say, if this is my audition to be one of the hosts, I'm down for it.
All right.
I don't think you did very well with audition, but
I don't know. What are you getting paid? Like $50 a show?
Something like that.
$45 a show.
We'll talk about it, Seth.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to Seth and Will from The Onion.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Go pre-order their book now. It's out later in the month. And now, let's learn how an artist can draw with just light.
My name's Darren Pearson. I'm a light artist.
Darren Pearson, aka Darius Twin, is one of the biggest up-and-comers in the world of light photography. His pictures are a sublime fusion of light, motion, and camera work. But how did this graphic artist from San Diego get his start, and how does he create these jaw-dropping images? Darren was interested in paleontology at an early age, but as he got older, he shifted his focus towards art.
You know, when I was growing up, my parents were kind of like, well, you know, like, if you want to be an artist, that's great, but don't expect to make a lot of money off of it. You should probably have a backup career. So I decided film was more of a direction that I could use as a backup. Coincidentally, I do both.
So he attended school at UC Santa Cruz, where he received his BA in Film and Digital Media. He then moved to LA, where he stumbled upon his first piece of light art.
I was flipping through this Life magazine book, stopped on a page, and I was familiar with the artist that was doing the light art. It was Pablo Picasso. He was drawing a centaur, but I wasn't sure what the medium was. It just kind of baffled me for a second. I kind of paused at this image and said, how did you do this?
He soon learned the process was simple.
You basically set up the camera on a tripod. So the camera's stationary, and the shutter opens. While it's open and the camera's stationary, it doesn't move. You go in front of the camera. Basically taking a photograph of yourself over a long period of time. And during that time, you point a light towards the lens and you illustrate whatever your creation is.
Darren took his first stab at the medium and was amazed at the results.
It kind of blew my mind, and that's what really started me to even get into photography. Before that, I was more involved with filming things rather than, you know, a single image.
Over the next few years, he continued to experiment and perfect his craft.
One thing that I do use that may be different than a lot of photographers is I use old Nikon lenses, and they're manually adjustable. So during the exposure, a lot of the times I can change the f-stop, which can let in a little bit of light or a lot of light, and that's pretty handy when you're illustrating in bright spaces. One photo can take anywhere from 3 minutes to 7 minutes, depending on how much ambient light is in the shot. A lot of the photography I do is a lot like skateboarding, where you would try a trick, you know, whatever amount of times you needed until you were happy. The first time, you usually get like a jumbled kind of generalization of what you wanted to get. Second time, it comes together a little tighter, and then usually the third or fourth try is like the make. But I mean, every now and then, you'll get a lucky one that'll be first try, do or die.
In 2011, he caught the attention of Reebok, who featured his work in this awe-inspiring video for the shoe company. A year later, his pictures gained mainstream attention, showcased on sites like the Huffington Post.
Drawing blind is kind of something that, you know, people can do, but it's very difficult to put together a very coherent design with light painting, because you don't see what you did. You have to remember, okay, I did, you know, this here, and then if you have another part, you say, okay, I need it to match up with this piece here, and then so on and so forth, until you have a complete, you know, figure like the dinosaur you see on my shirt. Things like that, I think, gain appreciation just because of the complexity.
But with praise also comes criticism.
A lot of people kind of they will comment on some of my photos like, this is Photoshop. I know how this is done. It's very easy, and I would like to see it done that way, because there's a certain look to Photoshop light painting. You'll see it a lot in advertising. It doesn't look like light. It doesn't reflect the same way that light does.
As for the future, Darren will continue to create new series and hopes to publish his own book of light art.
I would like to start
2nd, and here are your top stories. First up, Pandora and Spotify are great for fans, but not so great for artists trying to make a buck. Well, today, the digital music service Rdio launched something that lets everyone win called the Artist Program. The idea is to give artists incentive to stream their music by paying them $10 every time a fan buys a subscription. It works using social media, so artists can post a link on their Facebook or Twitter. Then when their followers click it and sign up, the artist gets paid. This is good for everyone because artists can make a profit and fans get unlimited access to more music for under $10 a month. Snoop Lion, formerly known as Snoop Dogg, has already signed up. In other music news, NASA recently released a track from none other than Mother Earth. Yeah, that's right, our planet, she sings. Here's a video posted by NASA. Take a listen. A little like whales, right? Yeah, well, the song actually comes from a phenomenon called chorus, which is basically a bunch of radio signals caused by plasma waves in the Earth's radiation belt. This layer of our planet's magnetosphere protects us from solar outbursts. It was captured by a couple twin probes in the midst of a 2-year mission exploring these belts. Listen to the whole track for yourself at science.nasa.gov. Very cool. And a lot of entertainment news broke today, too. First, YouTube released a new user interface that makes it easier to watch videos on a big screen. The new mode features a simplified look that is easier to control from a TV or large monitor. You can navigate the app with your keyboard or sync your smartphone to your YouTube account and control it all from the palm of your hand. Try it out for yourself by going to youtube.com/TV. And finally, new photos from the set of Iron Man 3 show off 2 never-before-seen suits. That's right, 2. The first photos show the latest version of Tony Stark's getup, but the real surprise is the Iron Patriot armor, which many believe is an upgraded version of the War Machine suit from the second movie. Now, it may be a while until we know for sure. The movie won't be released until next summer. I'm Sarah Underwood, and you've just been fed. Hey, Liam Neeson, if you're looking for Maggie Grace from Taken 2, she'll be right here live after the break. That's right, alive. Please don't hurt us.
We sent Weston Scott to America's largest Oktoberfest, and he never came back. Whoa. Take a look at this.
With so many things here to do at Oktoberfest, I'm not going to limit myself to just sitting in a tent and drinking all day. I'm going to get out and experience it all.
Covering over 5 square blocks of downtown Cincinnati, there is no shortage of crazy activities going on at Oktoberfest. From food to the largest chicken dance ever recorded, this place has a little something for everyone.
One of the crowd favorites is the Stein hoisting competition. This is where competitors see who can hold a 5-pound beer the longest.
Go! And we are at 1 minute, gentlemen. 1 minute. Feel the burn. 3 minutes. We're at 3 minutes. All right, our first one is found out. Better to drink than hold. Closing in on 5 minutes. Oh, down he goes.
Do you have any tips for anybody that's trying to do this, or have you done this yourself?
I actually have not done it myself. I've only emceed it so far, because I'd rather drink the beer than hold the beer.
I didn't get a chance to see how I would fare up on stage, but I still would like to give it a chance.
This is your first Stein hoist, right?
Yeah.
Might want to stretch out the elbows, get loose. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Give it a go. And this is the Stein hoist.
You know, here's the bottom line. As much as you want to concentrate on everything else, you start to feel your shoulder fatigue. You can see the arms shaking. I just really want to drink this.
Almost 4 minutes.
Count it down. Let's go. Get it up. Get it up. Maybe I'll train this year, and next year I'll be back and actually be in the competition.
We hope to see you then, brother.
All right, thanks.
All right, cheers.
So right now I'm in the Moorline Beer Garden, where I found a deliciously different Oktoberfest lager. It's still got the crisp, clean taste, slight honey hoppy finish, but it's more of like an amber tone. It's one of those ones you think just because it's got a little bit of a darker color, it's going to be a little bit more filling. Not true. Another thing that makes Moorline popular here at the Oktoberfest is that it's brewed locally. So it's a favorite amongst the crowd here today, and I can see why. It's delicious.
What's special about your balls? Your sauerkraut balls.
My name is Sue Gall, and there are Sue Gall balls.
Now, I know you're not going to give up your recipe. Can you take me through this process?
So you just pick up a little dab, and then you roll it, put it in the flour, and you usually get a lot of them in there, and then you put them in the egg mixture, and then you put them in the breadcrumbs. You like your hands on your balls.
Locker from Hocker.
Okay, now just try. Okay. See that how brown, nice and brown these are?
Man, those are good. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are done.
That's awesome.
It's a dinner in a ball.
Yeah, I'm getting like a mustardy.
Yeah, that's one of my secret ingredients.
That little bit of coating that we put on the outside is just the perfect amount. Thank you, dear.
Okay.
I appreciate you letting me handle your balls today. Sauerkraut balls, delicious. Well, after 2 days here at Oktoberfest in Cincinnati, I am definitely a fan. Between the beer, the food, and the atmosphere, I'm coming back. I just found out that I like balls.
Oh, welcome back, film expert Chris Gore.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thanks, Candace.
Thank you for being here. What's up first?
First we have, it's Dark Shadows.
Now, what do you think of Tim Burton's take on Dark Shadows?
Well, you know, this story came from, it was originally a soap opera from the 70s. And it's a lot like the soap opera in the sense it's kind of boring. A lot of soap opera stuff.
Did you watch the soap opera?
I have seen sequences of, I've seen scenes from the soap opera.
Okay.
I mean, vague memories of it as a kid, but this is just kind of slow moving. I wasn't as into it as other stuff that Johnny Depp has done. I mean, the one thing is his character is Barnabas Collins is just really bizarre, this vampire. Totally different take than the Twilight movies, which were mentioned earlier on the show. His fingers, in fact, in the extras, Johnny Depp talks about his fingers. They have these 3-inch extenders on his fingers, and he got used to actually using the fingers. But when they would take them off, he felt like he lost something. I could use a longer finger for things. So he, he's great at playing bizarre characters.
Yes, he is.
But the movie is just kind of dull.
All right, bottom line?
Pass.
I had a feeling.
I'm saving you time.
Thank you. Thank you for
Watch
that.
Edward Scissorhands. It's better finger extensions. So there you go. Do that one.
What's our next DVD?
Next one is Sound of My Voice.
Now, not many people have heard about this film. Can you explain a little bit about what it's about?
Yeah, it's an indie movie that's about this cult led by a woman who claims to be from the future. She says she's from the year 2054. What I love about this, I mean, it's a science fiction movie about these documentary filmmakers. They infiltrate the cult to you know, find out, is she for real?
Yeah.
What I love about this movie, there's no digital effects, no special effects whatsoever, no big explosions, no big stars, but it shows you the power of acting. For a genre film to work, you really believe after a while, I think she's from the future. I think she's from 2054.
Is she or isn't she? Yeah.
So that's, you know, I think when actors are in, you know, movies with science fiction themes, you know, their contribution is undervalued. And I think this shows, you know, the performance made it real. You didn't need big special effects, and that's what makes this film worthwhile.
The acting was very good in this. What do you think? Is it a rent? Is it a...
It's definitely a rent.
Okay.
I mean, like, not enough extras on it, but really worth checking out. And you can actually see the first 12 minutes of the movie if you go to soundofmyvoicemovie.com. You can see the first 12 minutes.
What I like about it is that it leaves you thinking about the movie. Like, you're like, oh, was that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything, no spoilers, but I thought it was very interesting.
All good science fiction should spur conversation. Yeah.
All right, what else do you have to check out?
We have Iron Sky.
And we showed the trailer for this film about Nazis in space on the show. How is the whole thing?
It's a cheesy B-movie. I mean, the one thing about this, great special effects. I mean, you know, the special effects in this are just over the top, insane. You've got a giant swastika building on the moon. The Nazis have basically migrated after losing World War II to the moon, the dark side of the moon, and they're coming back to Earth. And Earth, of course, the United States is run by Sarah Palin with this poster that says, yes, she can. You do believe she could be president.
It's all very realistic.
realistic.
No, the special effects are certainly realistic, but the performances on this, it's just so cheesy and over the top, and you just don't buy it. I really wish that the actors from Sound of My Voice were in this. I would have bought the premise of this more. They really just go for the comedy.
Okay.
And so, yeah. But
bottom line?
Bottom line is, rent it. Iron Sky, worth seeing, mainly for the special effects.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
For more Gord, check out his Podcrash podcast on iTunes.
All
Were
right.
you just pulling your pants up as you walked
I
on?
was a little bit. There we go.
Hey,
now we're good.
So fun show today.
Great fun show today.
Yeah.
Such a good time.
Wes and Scott, I swear he's just drinking all the time now.
Yeah,
I was saying he used to do all the gun packages. Now all he does is drink. Great job.
It's good living.
Good for him.
Good on you.
Good for him.
And many thanks to Maggie Grace.
Good score. Wes and Scott, you want to thank the people?
Seth, Reese, and Will. Tracy. What a pleasure talking to those guys.
Sarah Underwood.
Sarah.
Let's thank Sarah.
See you somewhere.
And of course, I'm going to thank you.
I'm going to thank you too.
You'll be here all week.
I
I'll
will.
be here all week. We'll see y'all later.
Janice, what a pleasure. Good night, everybody. Welcome back to Attack of the Show. Taking people from Liam Neeson is the most dangerous job in show business. Check this out. Please welcome Maggie Grace. Hello, Maggie Grace.
Hey, I want to bring these guys to the midnight screening.
Right?
I mean, it was like, ooh.
A very enthusiastic, very enthusiastic
Great
crowd.
spectator sport here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good audience. So in the first Taken, you were a little bit of a victim. I think it's fair to say.
Imperiled virgin is what I like to say. Imperiled virgin.
Was it written on your actual forehead?
On my, yes, and sense. Actually.
Well, then maybe that's why you were taken in the first place, Maggie. But in Taken 2, you actually get to be a little bit of an ass kicker.
Yes, a little more
that?
of the plucky heroine. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I mean, I love making action movies. They're so much fun to make, but you kind of want to get some action.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
See.
Got a little more of that.
Yeah. Like everybody agrees with you.
It was a lot of fun.
So you learned some good fight moves. Are you feeling more indestructible?
Not so much, because we had to maintain the integrity of the character from the first one. So she's her father's daughter, but hasn't gone through spy school.
Okay.
So.
That's between 2 and 3. You go to spy school.
No, she doesn't. She just steps up to the plate
Taken.
because she's fighting for her family. So as best she can, but she's still a little overwhelmed at times. I would love it if she just woke up and was like, I know everything my father does. I have a particular set of skills.
Oh, I'd love to learn some.
That would be amazing.
Now, you got to do this in Istanbul, Turkey.
Yes,
Did you get
we
to
were there
see
2 months in Paris for a while, so it's been just excellent location. Carmen's going to kick my butt, I think.
You're going to Staten Island.
Yes,
and
for 6 months.
Yeah. What did you get to see in Istanbul? Did you get in any trouble?
No trouble, per se, but I went to Eastern Turkey a little bit, traveled around a little bit. I went hot air ballooning at dawn and slept in a cave and went to the farmer's market and
you slept in a cave?
Cheese that had been buried in some guy's backyard for 3 months or something. It was like very colorful. A lot of spice markets.
So many threads I want to pull on.
I know, it was just so much. It was amazing, and I've always wanted to go there.
Well,
my whole life. So
I'm going to take you back to the cave. You slept in a cave.
Well, it's a cave hotel.
Why?
Well, in this particular area, the whole deal is, I guess, early Christians were fleeing persecution and carved cities into the area in Cappadocia. So you can go stay in essentially with the cave, but there's some minor conveniences. There's running water and that sort of thing.
Oh, so a hotel.
It's a cave hotel.
Okay.
A hotel. I just went camping. I can hang.
That's fair. That's fair.
I feel like, I got to get some credit there, too.
Absolutely.
But, I go camping.
Absolutely.
I can hang.
Now, aside from Taken, you are also known for Lost.
Yes.
Which is on 4 hours a day. On this channel, yep.
Okay.
You must have had and still have some super crazy fans from the Lost days.
There's been some interesting ones. I believe someone may have emailed over a picture of a tattoo I came across recently. That was someone's full Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that just comes up occasionally in like airports and whatnot, and you're like, wow, this may be the weirdest compliment I'll ever receive.
For sure, the weirdest. Can we go back to that, because that is a very specific Maggie Grace tattoo.
It is. Yeah, it's not cute. I mean, it's not a cute moment. it's sort of like we're all gonna die, you know?
Yeah, it's an interesting moment.
I'd love to know the mood that you're in when you choose to, like, you know, grace your body for life with this moment.
Yeah. And that looks like a part of the body that gets some exposure. That's like a calf tattoo or something.
Well, upper thigh. I don't know how much exposure. It depends on, you know, what kind of shorts you're rocking. The short shorts are in. I don't know.
So you see something like that, is it a compliment? Are you flattered?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not presented in an aggressive way,
right,
then yeah. You know, it depends. Some people are really, really passionate. I think, you know, the weirdest moment